welcome back to Pokemon Snap. We're gonna go explore the valley with Rapid River Valley.
The whoa. But anyway, last time we took pictures. This time we're gonna take some pictures. What kind of film do you think this is? Do you think this is like actual photographer's film or like something you'd get at discount at like Rite Aid?
And there's not much of a difference, to be completely honest with you.
I mean, there can be though. Like, do you think Oak like spent the money to get the good shit, or is just like fuck it, whatever?
Oh no, I'm sure it's really basic, like 400 ISO from your local fucking whatever.
I like to imagine Oak tells him what kind to get, but he's supposed to pay for it. Like, you get hazard pay for doing this? You're literally going around pissing off wild animals to get their picture. Oh, look at that Graveler up there.
Wait.
He's just chilling. That looks like a turd. You're just interrupting these Geodudes trying to get swole, Gus. It's fucked up.
They deserve it. They had it coming.
Have you seen a fortress in Pokemon Violet or Scarlet yet?
I have not.
It's really weird how they are in the trees. So, you know how they have like the 4 tubes sticking out of them?
Right.
When they're in the tree, they just use 2 of the tubes to suck onto the tree.
Weird.
Yeah. I love that Pokemon, but like... Gus, what's your favorite Pokemon type of all time?
Favorite type?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Probably Dragon.
Mine's Bug. I don't know why, I just really like the Bug type Pokemon. I think it's probably because I like Weedle so much. But they have a new one in Gen 9 that's like it's a spider, it's a ball of yarn that becomes a stick bug with like a bobbin of yarn on its ass. And its idle animation is literally the "you've been stick bugged" dance. If you remember that meme.
I don't.
It was like a new like Rickroll equivalent of like pranking people, but it was just a stick bug who was just like wobbling back and forth and just said, "You got stick bugged." I love the instant replay for shit turning on buttons.
Right. Fucked up the main key.
Oh my god, where are you? Weedle! Oh, I'm dressed differently for no reason.
We haven't talked about it yet in this playthrough. I love the music for this game.
It's really relaxing.
Yeah. I think the music for this game is very underrated.
Have you played the new Pokemon Snap yet?
A little bit.
Is that any good?
It's okay. It's too story focused. Like it.
Wait.
Oh, it's not like this where it's like there's a story, but it's like go do whatever you want.
Yeah. Like they're very much like, oh, you have to take certain specific pictures of this stuff. And I'm like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, like I get it, but it's also like, I guess at least they're not saying it's a remake of this. It's just its own thing.
Yeah. They really, I remember them talking about not wanting to do another one of these until they could do something like way different with it. Like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap, the big deal with this stuff was showing the Pokemon in 3D. Like these games were like outside of the anime defining what the Pokemon really looked like, as opposed to like the really shitty sprite artwork we had in the games at the time.
And they're also unique games too at the time. It's like, oh cool, like what feels like an actual like tournament thing of Pokemon battles and like just seeing them in the wild. Like that shit was crazy back then.
Well, and people talk about how, oh, I want a new Pokemon Stadium. I understand why Nintendo hasn't done another one of those. The really big selling point to Pokemon Stadium was, oh, I can take my Game Boy games and battle my friend's Pokemon against mine on the big TV in my mom's living room.
And
with these
3D.
Super cool 3D art and shit.
And get exclusive shit too.
Yeah. And now it's, I feel like you're getting that stuff anyways with your current Pokemon experience. For better or for worse.
Like, I remember when I got my DS and they announced Pokemon Ranger. I was fucking geeking, dude.
Right?
I was like, I get to be a Pokemon Ranger? I just heard like so much cool stuff about them.
And
like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was great.
Right. Well, and then Pokemon Battle Evolution, is that what it was? Was basically Pokemon Stadium for the DS games. It didn't have all the cool features that Stadium did, but it gave you that experience of battling in 3D on your TV with your friends.
I actually never played that one.
It was basically just a way for Gen 4 games to battle each other through your Nintendo Wii.
Cool. Like, what was the last good spin-off Pokemon game? Pokemon Troutse?
Maybe.
Did you play that one?
Yeah.
My mom was super into that one.
They had a mobile game, Pokemon Troze sequel that I think was slightly better. Like Battle Troze or something. Up? Maybe.
I don't know if that game's still up. Let's find out. I remember playing it. It was pretty fun. I say Pokemon Go is pretty great though. For
That's
what it is,
the last truly successful Pokemon spin-off game.
And it's for mobile too, which is even harder.
Right.
Let's see, Pokemon Company. There's Pokemon Cafe Remix.
I can't get behind that game, I'm sorry.
I don't like it. Pokemon Unite was pretty fun when I played it, but I didn't play it too long.
I played it for about as long as I played League of Legends. A couple days, and that was it. Yeah.
That's what I did too. Like, I was like, oh, I could see myself playing this game. I'm actually pretty good at it. And I'm like, no, because people are just going to figure out, like, the 3 Pokemon you have to play to win and where they have to be. And it's just not going to be fun playing ranked. Oh, yeah, it's still on. So Pokemon Shuffle Mobile is the name of the game.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon Shuffle. That's the one I was thinking of.
There's another one for the DS. What was it? I think it was a downloadable one. It was like Pokemon Ranch or something like that.
Pokemon Ranch was for the Nintendo Wii.
Not Pokemon Ranch. There's something like it though. I just can't remember for life what it was. I'm really debating getting a Pokemon tattoo, to be honest.
A Pokemon playthrough for the channel?
Not like a tattoo.
Oh, a tattoo? I've been debating one for a long time. I'll be real with you.
The issue is, like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, hey, do I even want to get tattoos? Like, if I ever go to, like, certain parts of the world, it's a bad idea to have tattoos.
It's true.
Like, if I go to Japan, I don't want tattoos. Because then there's some places they don't even let you go inside if you have tattoos.
Yeah, because isn't it like a sign that you're a gang member or something in Japan?
Yeah, well, it's like that's how the public perceives it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Because
Yakuza members they were infamous for having these really intricate and big tattoos that you couldn't see unless their shirt was off. Like some of them literally look like vests. They get cut off like right inside the shoulder. Really beautiful tattoos. But then it became synonymous with like, oh, you have a tattoo, you're trying to be a Yakuza, or you are a Yakuza. I don't really want to deal with you.
Can't blame him.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow. Well done.
Yeah, it's
Wow, that was
Japan's social structure is really interesting.
Well done.
Of like, they're really technologically advanced. and a somewhat socially advanced, but then like there's weird stuff like, oh hey, if you're gay you still can't get married.
Yeah.
And a lot of Japanese people, at least like according to like surveys and stuff, think pretty poorly of gay people.
Well, that's like people were complaining about the lack of like gay representation in some of the Fire Emblem games, but you have to remember where that game was made, and
yeah,
the Japanese public is not as accepting of that.
Yes.
And their whole if you ever play Yakuza 7, they talk about it a lot, but Japan has a lot of what's called gray zones, where like what they're doing is not illegal, but it's not legal.
Right. I just remembered I can't do the Pokemon sign for that course yet.
Yes.
It's like one of those things where it's like prostitution's illegal, but what you'll do is they have bathhouses, and they'll have these women give you like a bath, like a traditional like scrub down kind of thing.
Right.
And it just so happens if you pay for the premium service, you literally get a prostitute. Just like stuff like that, and like gamble. Have you ever seen like how their gambling works at like arcades?
Yeah. Max Mofo has a video of him winning a jackpot at a Japanese casino.
So they're not legally allowed to let you trade in your chips for cash, because unless like you're like have like a certain certification which is super hard to get, you're not allowed to do that, because that makes it like a certain tier of gambling. But what you can do is you can earn these metal or wood bars that have numbers on them, and then there's just a random business down the road that buys them for the cash value of the chips.
Really?
Yeah. Like sometimes it'll be like a stand outside. Sometimes you'll have to like go down like a door or two, and you go in there and they'll be like, cool, you have the 100,000 yen like trade bar. I'll pay you 100,000 yen for that. Or like they'll have like arcade machines where like games where it's like, oh cool, you won one of these metal bars. And it doesn't say it anywhere, but like if you ask certain people, they'll be like, all right, go out there. That guy will buy that bar for like the face value if you don't want like prizes.
Interesting.
It's really fascinating because it's like, it's technically really illegal, but it's also their legal loophole, and most of the government doesn't care. Speaking of Yakuza, you ever like read about how whenever there's a disaster in Japan, the Yakuza are there in like 30 minutes and the government will take like hours or even days to get there?
Yeah, I recently read an article about that. Something happened recently with the Yakuza getting there before any other public official, basically.
I know for the Fukushima meltdown, they had people there, I think it was like in 2.5 hours, where it took the Japanese government like about a day to get like a decent workforce and like people out there to do something about it.
Sounds about right.
Wait, can you imagine if gangs in this country did that? I mean, the Yakuza's not a gang, to be fair. But like, can you imagine if we had a bunch of organized unions like that, where it's like, cool, like the Crips are like, hey man, Hurricane Katrina happened, that fucking sucked. We're gonna send a bunch of guys down and donate like $1 million to like a relief fund. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Would not fly well here.
Yeah, no. Especially with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, audience, the IRS got Capone. They can get you.
Literally the thing that got Capone.
Yeah. I remember, like, the tax fraud they got him on wasn't even a lot, but it was enough to get a proper federal investigation on him to find out all the other stuff, like, legally, even though everybody knew about it. I couldn't imagine living in Chicago during that time, I'm going to be honest. I feel like it'd be terrifying. Honestly, living through Prohibition sounds like a pretty scary time to be in the U.S. One, because if you are not a white man, your life's already immediately harder, like times 20. Because the 20s and 30s were not exactly the nicest time for either of those people, of those who are not white and those who are not men. But then, like, hey, you want a drink? Cool. Hopefully that hooch you drank from someone's bathtub doesn't blind you.
Hopefully.
Although it would be really cool to go to like jazz clubs and stuff back then, you know? Like see what entertainment was back then.
Right.
I bet it was cool because like you have to remember like the only movies that were back then were like, if any, would be like in really wealthy people's houses. Or like at like a museum. Like in like an archive kind of thing. Yeah, like movies were around, but still like they were expensive and like it was more like a slideshow.
You basically made a whole day of going to the movie theaters.
Yeah, or it's like you could go to like you could go gamble, you could go get drunk. I suppose you could get high too if you knew the right person and knew what you were doing. And then like I guess you could go to like a brothel. Or paint or something like. Well, like being in a city, it'd be like interesting. I'm like, oh, what is this like little sideshow? Like, what is this? Let's learn about it. You know, I want a cartoon about a guy who just gets randomly teleported around in time. And he's not doing anything like super historically significant or like remotely close to that. He's just like, hey, what can I get for like 30 cents right now? I'm pretty hungry. Just like shit like that. I feel like that'd be interesting. It's like, hey, I just want to know how much it cost to buy like this house in like 1958. Like I know how much it costs in 2022. And it's like, oh, that's cool.
Should we?
I guess. Oh, go ahead.
Should we next time on Pokemon Snap?
You know what? We should.
See you next time, guys. Find out which Zapdos picture I like the best. It's this one.
That was for next time.
You guys have to.
Next time, find out what Gus's favorite kind of mustard is.